What's going on, guys? Machine here with a video about the Sith Warrior, and basically you guys are going to follow me through my adventures of levels 5 through 15 as a Sith Warrior. At level 10 I will be picking the SITH JUGGERNAUGHT. I plan on tanking at release of the game, and I'm trying to see what the SITH JUGGERNAUGHT is made of. So we're going to go through, I'll briefly update you guys throughout the leveling process, show you when I get new abilities, what they do. We'll do an overall abilities overview, overall class overview, my opinion, what I've read, what I've learned, etc. So stay with me, guys. We're going to be moving forward here and taking an extensive look at the early levels of the SITH JUGGERNAUGHT. Alright, so right off the bat at level 5, we've got a couple abilities we're going to show off here. One being the Force Charge. Basically, you charge into battle, or it should be called Force Jump. You charge into battle with your weapon, immobilizing the target for 2 seconds and interrupting that target's current action. So if they're casting something, it's going to be immediately interrupted as charged. This also builds 3 rage, and it can't be used against targets in cover. So you wouldn't be able to go up against like an Imperial agent, for instance, or a smuggler who's in cover and force charge them. This class is based on rage. It's very similar to a World of Warcraft warrior on how it works. I prefer classes where you build things up and then utilize. I like the rage system as opposed to like with the bounty hunter. You have the heat system that gets compiled, and then all your abilities are pretty much useless. I rather not be able to use abilities in the beginning and then ramp up, which is one reason why I do like the Sith Warrior class, and that they've basically adapted that mentality. 2 other hand-to-hand combat melee abilities I have here. One being Assault, which is your basic, just quick attack. And it basically inflicts damage with a series of melee attacks, and it builds 2 rage. And if you're dual wielding, at level 10 if you pick a Marauder, you'll be attacking with both abilities with that particular action. But I'm going to be a Sith Juggernaut. I'm only going to have 1 lightsaber, so I'll only be attacking with just that 1 weapon. And the other ability I have is Vicious Slash, and this basically, you slash the target for damage dependent on gear. It attacks with both weapons, once again if dual wielding, which I'm not doing. But this is like more of a heavy hitting attack, like you'll see as I go in here. Basically, okay, here's Assault. You can see it's just kind of left to right, and then we build up a little bit more rage. I'll be able to use a Vicious Slash, and you can see it's just kind of one giant overhand swing attack that does a lot more damage. In a lot of cases, takes down the enemy to low health, and if they're significantly lower than you or at half health, you pretty much one-shot them. So it's a great attack to have. Also, you get an AoE ability called Smash. I love this attack. And basically, you go in, build up a little rage, and then smash. Basically, your tune jumps up in the air, comes down, does AoE damage within 5 meters, and also stuns weak and standard enemies for 1.5 seconds. So not only you're getting AoE damage right off the rip, but you're also setting out an AoE stun on any people that are considered equal or weaker than you. So definitely a good attack to have. You get a couple different passive abilities as well. You get the Shiko form. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but it's SHII-CHO, so we'll just call it Shiko. And when you do this, it's kind of like it stands in World of Warcraft. You're entering a balanced lightsaber form. You're increasing all damage dealt and reducing all damage received by 3%. So you're getting, a buff to both your offense and your defense. Very good to have on. So go ahead and equip that. You get Unnatural Might as a Sith Warrior, and this increases your melee, ranged force, and attack bonus damage and healing by 5% for 60 minutes. So this is an hour-long buff, and you're getting an all-around buff as well. Your Channel Hatred is your self-heal. You will be able to use this not in combat, but in between battles, and basically gives you close to, if not a full bar of health. And then, of course, you get the stupid human racial, if you're a human, called Rally, which is the fist pump ability, which actually, yeah, I'm taking that off my bar. So this is just a quick look at level 5, guys. You're getting some basic abilities, but your class is really starting to form up. Overall, so far, I'm enjoying the class immensely. It's fun to be able to kind of charge in and especially with the smash ability, AoE down, stunning people, hitting people with the stick that will soon be a lightsaber. I'm excited. So stick with me, guys. Talk to you in a few more levels, get some more abilities, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, before I actually started the video, I didn't realize that I had forgotten to train. So at level 5, there's a couple more abilities that you do have at your disposal. One being Retaliation, and basically, once a successful melee or ranged defense occurs, then this pops up and you can utilize this. It's a pretty wicked attack, and basically what this does is it's a melee attack against the target, and it does, damage dependent on your weapon strength. So very cool. And obviously if you're dual wielding, once again it will work for dual wielding as well. And then I also got Saber Ward, which is your first cooldown, and basically this raises a lightsaber ward, increases melee range defenses by 50%, and reduces the damage taken from force and tech attacks by 25% in the last 12 seconds. So every class kind of gets their little 12-second buff. Here's the Jedi's, or I should say the Sith Warrior, my bad. So I have this ward up now, so for the next 12 seconds my melee will be increased by 15%, and so will my defenses, and if I'm ranged or any ranged attacks, then they will also be increased. So that, and it also improves the fact that you're denying 25% of damage taken in. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of update on those two extra abilities. I didn't want you guys to think that level 5 did not have the abilities. So carrying on through this little dungeon I'm in right now, just working my way up to continuing to get more levels to show more coverage, so hang in there. Alright guys, so the time has come. I am level 10, and it is now time to pick what advanced class I want to go with. There's two different directions you can go as a Sith Warrior. One is the Sith Marauder, which is a pure DPS spec, dual wielding lightsabers. You wear medium armor, and obviously a resource is always going to be rage with a Sith Warrior, no matter which direction you go. Now the one I'm going to choose actually is the SITH Juggernaught. It's specialization in tank, but there's also some damage trees in there as well. You're going to single wield one lightsaber. Your armor is going to be heavy as opposed to medium though, and once again your resource is rage. Like I said before, my primary outlook right now as far as moving forward with the game is to tank, so I'm on kind of a quest to find what tank I like the best. So we're going to go ahead and this time around pick SITH Juggernaught, which is going to open up 3 skill trees for me. I have Immortal, which is the defense tree, Vengeance, which is one of the damage trees, and then the other damage tree is Rage. So I have 1 point available, and I'm going to end up putting that into, why not Quake? And basically this is going to give Smash the ability to have a 50% chance to lower the accuracy of effective targets by 5% for 18 seconds. So the Smash ability, which is kind of the jump up in the air, come down AoE action, is now going to have 50% chance to lower that accuracy of affected targets by 5% for 18 seconds. So it's a pretty cool little ability, and it's also an AoE, so it should reflect that as well. So we have selected the Juggernaut as our tree, and we're going to move forward as that. We're going to go over here, train some new abilities, and there's none available at the moment, but just want to update you guys a little bit on the abilities thus far. Since we last talked, I now have Ravage, which is a series of lightsaber attacks that does weapon damage over 3 seconds, and obviously if you're dual wielding you'll utilize both lightsabers, but since I'm a SITH Juggernaut now, I'm only going to use one lightsaber. The other ability I got was Unleash, and this is basically the same thing as a World of Warcraft human racial. It removes all incapacitating and movement impairing effects. It's got a 2-minute cooldown on it. So the other awesome update, right around level 10, you get a quest to go after this little bad boy here. Yes, I got my lightsaber. So I'm pretty hyped about that. No more little vibro blade or whatever you want to call it. We are now officially in business. So to the next portion of the guide, moving forward, getting off this planet and getting over to Drahman Kaz. So stick with me. Alright guys, we're back. Huge gap between 10 and where I'm at right now, level 17, but got a little carried away, and I just got lost in the storyline, so I kept going. That being said, the Sith storyline, which I'm not going to spoil for you guys, it's very engulfing, it's very exciting, and like I said, you just kind of look up, and next thing you know, 7 levels have gone by, and you've been having fun. So, here at level 17, Quiet Vet, here at level 17 we have quite a few new abilities that we'll go over. We got Sundering Assault, which basically puts on a Sunder ability on the enemy that takes down the target armor by 4% over 15 seconds. And you can stack this up to 5 times, and it also builds 2 rage. So that's pretty huge. You're definitely going to want to throw that on the target. Unfortunately, it's got a pretty, not large, but I mean it's got a 4.5 second cooldown, so it's going to be something you're going to throw in between other attacks. I have yet to use this on a very high level mob, so I'm assuming that when you use it on a high level mob, you're going to end up putting all 5 stacks. But you know, on some of the mobs I'm fighting, most of the mobs I'm fighting, you know, I only get 2 or 3 stacks on before they're dead, because the Juggernaut does put out some decent DPS as well. I don't know if we talked about this ability earlier in the video, but we got Retaliation too, and this basically can be used after successful melee or ranged defense, and it does not respect the global cooldown. So basically, when you know a parry or dodge occurs, this ability pops up for use, and you could basically do very high-end weapon damage on the target. We got Ravage now, which is a series of lightsaber attacks that does, you know, basic weapon damage over 3 seconds, and standard and weak enemies are also stunned. We've got Taunt now, which basically taunts the target over. It's basic tank taunt. And we got a couple cooldown abilities like Call on the Force, which refreshes your cooldown for Saber Ward. And for those of you who don't remember what Saber Ward did, it increases range defense by 50% and melee defense by 50%, and it reduces damage taken from force and tech attacks by 25% for 12 seconds. So this reduces the cooldown of that, and you know, basically, you know, gets you to where you can pop that up again. We have Force Scream, which is honestly one of my favorite abilities, and this blasts the target with a Force Enhanced Scream, dealing kinetic damage. And there's ways that you can put your points in your trees to where as soon as you charge in, this ability becomes available. So it's very useful. And then you have Chilling Scream, which freezes nearby foes, reducing their movement for 50% for 9 seconds. So that has a lot of use, you know, if you're trying to do a little bit of kiting or just generally slow some melee attackers down, you can just pop that. And then Guard is another ability that's very useful, and what happens here is basically you can select a target, and while active the target takes 5% less damage and generates 25% less threat. And in addition to that, 50% of all incoming damage from enemy players is transferred back to you. So basically you're taking one for the team, literally for a team member, and you're going to be channeling damage that they're taking over to you and reducing their threat. So very useful abilities. So far, I have to say, overall, at level 17, I am thoroughly enjoying the Sith Juggernaut. This will be the class that I play at release, hands down. If you're looking for a fun melee tanking class, I definitely suggest that you go with the Sith Juggernaut. I'm going to have another video coming out here very shortly. I'm actually going to start working on it right now, and it's going to be an in-depth look at each individual ability. And you guys may have seen some of my Bounty Hunter videos, so this was just kind of the playthrough class overview, 1 through 15. I know I went to 17, but like I said, I kind of got lost. You know, what you can expect from the Sith Juggernaut is great tanking abilities and, you know, pretty damn good DPS as well. I'm really excited to see how this class fares in PvP and, you know, just as I go throughout the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you did enjoy the video, I'd appreciate it if you like and favorited it. Also, I have a Facebook and a Twitter. The links are in the description. And last but not least, I'm sure you guys know, for those of you who are watching my Star Wars The Old Republic videos, I do have a Star Wars The Old Republic guild that I started called Dark Legion. It's basically for me to be able to play with my subscribers and fellow fans of Star Wars The Old Republic. The link is in the description, as well as at the top of this video with the purple background. If you click on that, there's an introduction video that tells you what we're about as a guild. We're over 40 members now at the time of making this video, so we are growing. We are ready for launch. We have a great community so far. The forums are active, so Come check us out. Thanks again for watching, guys. As always, stay tuned. Machine out.